Share screen. All right. Uh, hoping that hoping that the screen is visible to you all. All right. So here's the high tide flag list, and what I'm going to do today is like sort of go through the whole list. Some of them would be already. Some of them would be. I mean, most of them would be already, which we have been discussing, and now we will see that how far that high tide flag has actually matured and broken out, and what and all, and how, what can we sort of learn from all those things. Okay. um so let's go, let's start. So IWEL was sort of a high tide flag at this space, and what we discussed was that this is a small base. This is a 1 2 3 4 5 6 day base. 6 day base. Generally, the smaller bases, what we've discussed till now is that anything which is less than 10-day base is very prone to sort of failure or not go. But apparently, IWL is like something very strong. It still did materialize. Okay. Um, Star Trek broke out, followed through a couple of days, and then you see the small micro cap, M cap companies are prone to this thing. So just be careful. Why I do not screen these things out right now in my screening process is because I want to watch the most number of high tide flags I can. So anyways, matlab, I basically don't want to screen them out. I want to see like how all the high tide flags in the this one behave. So ओरिएंट सेराटेक, वी आई रिमेंबर ओरिएंट सेराटेक हम लोग यहाँ से ट्रैक करते आ रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो देखिए जनरली क्या होता है, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम अराउंड द की एम एज व्हाट वी डू इज़ वी डू अन एंटिसिपेशन काइंड ऑफ ए बाय, जहाँ पे हम लोग एंटिसिपेट करते हैं कि भाई यहाँ से अब मुड़ेगा, नहीं मुड़ा, यहाँ से मुड़ेगा भाई, नहीं मुड़ा, यहाँ से नहीं, यहाँ से मुड़ेगा, प्रॉबेबली अभी मुड़ेगा, बिकॉज नाउ वी ऑल्सो सी वॉल्यूम. सो कहने का मतलब ये है कि लाइक there is a reason people buy breakouts. Why? Because breakout sort of gives you the confirmation कि भाई अब ऊपर उठने वाला है. That is why also there is a very anticipation anticipating a bounce might look like a low risk setup, but actually it's a high risk setup because the confirmation is not there. So probability कि भाई साहब अभी वापस घूमेंगे is not there, right? So Marxa Pharma, this is one of the better setups right now in the country. So there was a very tight area. Then 20 December happened, but the chart was so strong that the same day, I think this is called whoops reversal in technical terms, or this West people call it. So gap down okay, then it sort of reversed and closed at the top of this one. So right now it's setting up really nicely. Is the base का size भी बहुत बढ़िया है. The base size right now is like 20 bars. 20 bars is more than decent. Also, pharma space just did so well today, in the sense like it's almost like a uh, continuation of whatever strength we saw in pharma in the last 2 3 weeks, right? So Marksan looks really well. This also has all the characteristics of a really good perfect flag, and those are like, फिर से मैं बता देता हूँ, refreshing everyone's memory here. So the number one thing is like you have a true pole. Second thing is like volumes are really humongous on the true pole. Shallow pullback. The shallow pullback is sort of orderly, not very orderly, but this is still fine because this was a black swan kind of a day. That's the third. The fourth one is the volumes on pullback is like almost negligible, so you know that not many people are selling. You know, and now when we are about to break out, we also see that the volumes are coming up. So it's a very nice flag. It's also a high tide flag, right? If you see the pole length, it's not a true high tide flag, but who says कि 100% ये होना चाहिए, ठीक है? तो वेस्ट वालों ने 100% डिफाइन किया, हम लोग ठीक है 70 से मान मान ले सकते हैं. मान अल्मुनियम also थोड़ा लंबा हो गया masked, but uh, I think this was a breakout day. The breakout did not straight away materialize, but now you see that the relative strength is also coming back. So high possibility, but again, I think a lot of people also have very bad experience with this because of this mosquito pattern ये बनाया था इसने. तो again, yet yeah, if you are not very sure, if you are not um, इसको trade मतलब ऐसे you can skip, like there are so many other options, right? So Jindal photo, a similar thing happened with me which I described. I sort of got in here. Jindal photo को इधर इधर मैंने I think I either bought on this day or on this day, so I sort of anticipated कि जिंदाल फोटो अब घूमने वाला है, but that thing did not happen. And because my allocation was small, so I could actually, I'm still holding, although this is almost more than 10-12% card drawdown, but I'm still holding this because my total portfolio, the position size was not that big, so the loss in the risk in whole portfolio is still less than 0.5% at the max. But now it's sort of starting to sort of break out. This is called a downward wedge pattern, or pennant sort of, pennant भी बोल सकते हैं इसको, and it's very close to breakout now, but it's no longer a general high tide flag because the mast has already been more than a wo. But again, this is also one variation of how you can track an erstwhile high tide flag. This is a very much tradable setup still. Hopefully when this actually breaks out at that time, the relative strength will also come back and show up. So Apollo Microsystems, I know a lot of you folks are trading this. Some people got triggered here, some people got probably triggered today. It's a good setup now, okay? And yeah, so in general, when you are anticipating, I always like to anticipate at around the 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average is very high fidelity. This one 50 MA से थोड़ा मतलब घूमने का भी चांसेस समाउ ज़्यादा मैंने महसूस किया है, ठीक है. JP Associates. So sort of O'Neill breakout happened, then came back, and then took a very nice support at 21. थोड़ा flat सा एक again छोटा वाला consolidation बनाया, and it's now again started to move. um, One could again trade this breakout, but that would be like a base on base kind of a thing. Now if you see, what you can also anticipate is it's already now forming a pattern here, and you guys know the system of pattern morphing, so you can definitely now do some anticipation कि अच्छा भैया जी आके यहाँ पे रेजिस्टेंस ले सकते हैं, फिर वापस आके इधर आ सकते हैं या इधर आ सकते हैं, like depending upon the kind of time frame you are using, you can use this anticipations of sort to be a little creative in your trading. That's like little high level stuff. Aditya Birla is very nice, uh, masked, and then this was the downtrend or base. I I I I have a feeling that this guy will do a little bit of a chota wala base here again, and then the final breakout will happen. And if that happens, looks really good. Inox Green broke out yesterday. This was a very nice base. This was a very nice high tide flag. People in the Homma Pride Access do know that I actually pointed out this breakout yesterday, and also in the meantime pointed out that this is a high tide flag base breakout. Dhunseri, no longer a high tide flag, but definitely an I high tide flag, right? See, ITI broke out here from like a क्या बोलते हैं इसको, a cheat breakout, but then again formed another base here, possible breakout happening here. The thing is, sometimes what happens, most high tide flags would occur like a high tide flag, then go on to become a bigger base. As there is nothing to say that this might not spend some more time here like this. And the thing is, if you then quote these structures every day, then when the actual breakout happens, that breakout is also tradable. So So you can always आपकी ये जो मेहनत है tracking the high tide flags from start to finish will not go to waste, because many of these high tide flags, if they don't break out, will go on and become big large flat bases जिसका जो breakout है बहुत ही बढ़िया आएगा. Just case in point, I think something, not GPIL, there is another one, I forgot the name. I'll remember. I'll remember in a while. Imami Realty. So this is guy 50 DMA, 50 DMA bounce. So if you are anticipating 50 DMA bounce is a good place. Sasta Sundar was sort of a, a cheat, one can call cheat or a pullback confirmation entry today. Okay, because this was a pullback and then this is a confirmed uh, a, a reversal, or like bullish reversal from the pullback point. So this was a viable entry today. uh, Bhel, Bhel is Bhel. So BSE also now no longer, maybe it's still a high tide flag, but you see 50 DMA, 50 DMA is always a point where one can develop anticipation setups. Hopefully hopefully it can build a tight area and sort of we can trade this breakout. Yeah, so if one would have anticipated this, it would have not gone. So whenever you anticipate, no, make sure that you respect your stop loss, because anticipation करने का मतलब ही ये है कि like you are relying on a high probability of your discretionary डिसीशन कि भाई यहाँ से ये घूमेगा. तो अगर नहीं घूमा तो आपको स्टॉप लॉस ले लेना है, एंड होपफुली दैट स्टॉप लॉस इज़ वेरी स्मॉल, because it's a anticipatory trade. Anand Rathi is looking really good. um, Very nice base. The only thing I do not like about it is this day का volume. ये ये वॉल्यूम थोड़ा ज़्यादा है, बट ठीक है. वो वॉल्यूम के बाद द नेक्स्ट 3 days आर ओके बिकॉज द प्राइस हैव अगेन गेटिंग टाइटर. And when this breakout comes, this breakout is going to be tradable for sure. And yeah, Maharashtra seamless also, this breakout is going to be very much tradable. High rect, so high rect is now no longer a high tide flag. It will morph potentially into like a, for sure, not for sure, it will possibly morph into some sort of a cup. ठीक है, तो कप के बाद फिर हैंडल बनेगा या सॉसर ब्रेकआउट होएगा, वो सब अभी देखना पड़ेगा. बट दिस इज हाउ व्हाट हैपेंस. देर इज ऑलवेज सम, मतलब कुछ ना कुछ तो निकल के आता है. बट व्हेन यू ट्रैक दिस प्रीवियस 100%, 70 to 100% kind of moves, right? Yeah, so now you have a cheat pivot here, but this is no longer a high tide flag. JP JP Vidayak JP जी निकल पड़े today, right? So this is also not typical high tide flag as defined by the West. Why? Because the mast of the flag is more than 5 weeks. 35 bars. So 35 bars would be 53 days, right? So 53, 7 7 is 49. तो 7 weeks से ज़्यादा हो गया इस मास्ट को. बट अगेन दिस इज़ अ वेरी नाइस Indian high tide flag, the our Indian version. And yesterday could have been one entry, in the sense, let's say this was a tight DTL entry. Also there was a very clean, इसको क्या बोलते हैं, there was a very clean crossover of MA. One could have also entered the 50 DMA bounce. So these are the things, higher level, next level stuff. You can be a little yeah, I forgot the English word for what I'm looking for, but yeah, थोड़ा मतलब आप हो सकते हो चंचल हो सकते हो, not exactly by the book with your entries, once you sort of know how to deal with the bookish entries. So Quick Hill is one guy who has been so bloody मतलब इतना थकाया है इसने, whoever is in this trade, it's almost unbearable. मतलब स्टॉप लॉस भी नहीं ले रहा बंदा, uh, निकल भी नहीं रहा, like it's not even breaking out. The only good thing from what will come out of quick heal is that whenever the base breakout happens, the base breakout will have a higher probability of follow through, because the bigger the base, the bigger will be the chances of follow through, right? So I think that's the only silver lining I can think about. um, so yeah, so one needs to uh, devise strategies of not to be in this kind of trade, which in the hindsight only we can tell. But basically also start thinking about how to manage this kind of trade. And सबके लिए अलग अलग होएगा. There are some people in the group who are okay to hold something for three months, and after that if they get 20% move, it's like okay, ठीक है, बहुत बढ़िया है, 3 महीना में 20% आ रहा है, बहुत ही बढ़िया है. But maybe for some people that kind of a return is not up to their standard. So so people like them will be more dukhi holding this. So um, half full half empty. Bliv GVS Pharma, really nice breakout today, and this is a cheat breakout. ठीक है, तो ये वाला DTL ब्रेकआउट था, DTL ब्रेकआउट के बाद चीट बनाया, चीट ब्रेकआउट हुआ, and looks good, like at least definitely it will test the O'Neill pivot, which still has like 11% from here. And hopefully that the pharma steam has just started. um yeah, so this is another one. Spencer retail is now getting tighter and tighter. um yeah, one way to trade this would be if there is a definitive close above this 114. That would be sort of a cheat entry. And a really really nice looking flag, really amazing, like really beautiful looking flag. And sometimes they most of the times they sort of give you something. Prestige Estates, this is also a very nice 1T complete. अब देखने की बात यह है कि will we get a follow through, I mean O'Neill pivot base breakout tomorrow, or we are gonna make a 2T. For me, if you ask what do you want, I want a 2T, because once the 2T comes, then that breakout is more high probability, has more higher probability of sustaining. you know so I would want a second T. uh, ठीक है, 1 point solution. तो DTL base breakout हुआ, and then we had a O'Neill pivot पे आ गया resistance. But I am hopeful that couple of days ka consolidation, and then it eventually gives you the follow through, because that is how it happens, and that's how the smaller cup and handle forms. नायकल NICL, बहुत ही खूबसूरत tightness है right now. And like you see, it's always a matter, I mean things are fractal, right? So this is basically flag and a mast. But if I go to a 5 minutes 30 minutes candle, this is basically how stage 4 stocks look like. तो ये अपना स्टेज 1 हो गया, देन ये स्टेज 2 हो गया, देन दिस इज द स्टेज 3 बेस. ठीक है, स्टेज 3 बेस से ब्रेक डाउन होके, नाउ बेसिकली दिस इज सॉर्ट ऑफ the stage 4 base or a stage 1 base. And when this base breakout happens on the outside, that is that can be tradable, right? So the same things occur over and over in all the time frames. Once you learn nicely how to trade at something or a specific structure at any time period, you can then easily use any other time period to trade the same thing. The principles would be the same. The only thing that is different would be your agility, your speed of execution, and and what kind of profits or losses you are going to take, right? So 5 मिनट में जाके आप 5% लॉस नहीं ले सकते हो 5 मिनट टाइम फ्रेम में ट्रेड करके, so those are the things. Hindustan Petro was a nice breakout here, and then I think there was some sort of कुछ तो there was news and stuff like that कि कुछ पैसे काटेंगे वगैरह वगैरह. But ठीक है, this is very strong. This 3 days of consolidation will eventually give way to a breakout, and and whoever got an entry here should just stay put, and respect their stop losses. So ये देखिए, this is what I was saying, that your erstwhile high tide flag has now become a big base, you know. And whenever this big base breaks out, which would be, this would be the pivot जिसके ऊपर we can trade the breakout. That would be a very nice breakout. FSCT, FSCT, now this mast is sloping up. um, the 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 relative strength line is also poised to sort of move up now. Hopefully this will come, given that fertilizers are also doing okay. um, so you see there's a volatility contraction here, T1, T2, T3 possible. Yeah, yeah, so this was a very nice high tide flag, but at no point of time there was any entry triggered here. ये lower low ही बनाते जा रहा है, you know. the first the first entry, possible entry, would be when this guy is going to take out this lower high. So आपको भी pivot clearly नहीं दिखेगा, but if you go to 30-minute time frame, then you will see the pivots very clearly. um, High, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, you know. So there's a possibility that, like, now this is a higher low, and then some sort of consolidation and breakout. So that would be the first time. Also, you notice ki there is some green shoots here, green towers sort of coming up, and with each time there is selling, the red towers are getting shorter and shorter. तो ये वाले इस वाले selling पे there's a bunch of very high towers, red towers. Then the next leg of selling में volume थोड़ा कम हुआ. Meaning is, like, whoever is selling, they're getting exhausted. At some point of time they will have no more shares to sell, and then if there is still buyers, then this will go up. So that's how price sort of react. What This is what moves price basically. But very poor setup still, in the sense कि अभी बिल्कुल confirmation तो है नहीं. uh, PCBL Limited is a very good flag. In fact, although if you this is just 55%, but it's a tradable flag, right? So selling one, selling two, selling two में selling it was only for 4 days, and the selling volumes are also lesser than the cumulative selling volumes here. This is the third selling. The third selling was even lesser than this. So that means that supply is getting exhausted, chota chota chota, and at some point of time now more buying will come. Today was a day, like, it sort of showed some level of मेरे को ऊपर जाना है types का भाव. But very soon this breakout is going to come. And if tomorrow this guy is sort of, today's high is getting broken out, let's say there is a strong start and today's high is खुल के ऊपर गया, and first 5 minutes it did, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, it did resist, it did ये that gap was, respected. uh, those kind of those kind of situation would be a signal to, enter early in this kind of situation. So that is one way to also trade this. And obviously the main this previous O'Neill pivot would also be another point to trade. So I'll just shift this here so that I will know when this is getting triggered. So Syncom, this was the pole, this was T1, T2, and this was the breakout day. Was tradable. Kalyan Jewelers, inching up like a diseased person, but I am the setup looks really good, in the sense, बढ़िया pole, and then this is first, it's like a cup, and then maximum you expect a handle, because कब बना तो sort of the first expectation is that कि handle आएगा, and if that handle comes, it'll be more better, you know. So IMCO Elecon also can now be thought of as a cup and an extended handle, and hopefully now will 50 DMSA अभी उछल के जाएगा वापस. Remember, many of us had this as our first buy, and on the 25 HTF. So imagine if one would not have de-risked this position at 2R. Uh, at least many of us who hold this now, this is still like a de-risk position, you know. ठीक है, चलता है. IOC has been forming the mast only for forming the pole only for such a long period of time. ऐसा ही होता है, like things which are really strong, they will not give any technical entries also at some point of time. Yeah, this kind of wicks are honestly very what is the word? It's so irritating to trade this. Uh, now that I've seen that okay, this is doing this, then we will use our concept of pattern morphing and do something like this. You know, hopefully, like this could be on a mass which is upsloping. But yeah, because I don't have that much experience of trading this, and ऐसा नहीं कि आपको trade करना ही करना है, and also that we have a lot of other better flags than this. uh, we should just move on. ओमेक्स अभी देखना ही है, ये इस लाइन के ऊपर तक जब तक नहीं आएगा देखना ही नहीं है इसको. uh, yeah, so angel one, you see how the strong stocks behave. उसका मास्ट भी slopes up. So this is how it is. Jikre. So Jikre, I am very hopeful. Very hopeful. On hindsight, again, this was an anticipatory entry of the breakout coming in. Did not did not materialize, right? So that is why also many people who only do breakout trading are very successful. You know, because uh, their their capital is not stuck, and especially people who cannot take a stop loss, cannot like click the sell button and move on with a stock they really love, will suffer like this. So always that's why chuck up a trading system which absolutely and absolutely suits your psychology, suits your behavior. You know, that is the single most important thing which will define your trading career. Of course, borrow ideas, borrow setups which work shamelessly, as Stockbee says, but also, you know, modify it according to your own psychologies and sensibilities. Brigade T1, T2, T3. Hopefully यहाँ पे ज़्यादा selling नहीं आएगा, and then one fine day we will have the breakout. Surana, Tell and Power looking really good. Okay, this guy is looking really good, and anything with power is like sort of uh, going. I think this is in, I don't know, like Surana to एक solar company है. I don't know what this does, but looks like a great flag. By now you know where to where and how to sort of trade this. So O'Neill and this would have been the best. So possibly tomorrow also the breakout can come. TVS holding, right? So I remember this was a very nice PVC pullback confirmation, sort of a buy. I if I am if my memory serves me correct, there was, I also alerted that there is a breakout. So there is a legit entry in this. Hopefully this follows through, and we'll see क्या बनाएगा T2. Ashapurna Mindcam getting ready, getting better. Hopefully the breakout out of either this or the previous pivot will also coincide with the Mars getting stronger, and that would be a very nice confirmation. हाँ, so this is something which is a red flag, okay? The bike hospital में red flag क्या है? Red flag यह है कि this high, this pivot high is a lower high than previous high. So this kind of structure is always a, a red flag. And now if you ask me, bro, what is this structure making? This is a head and shoulder. So this was, let's say, although this head and this shoulder and this head is very near, but one can still say that, okay, actually, bro, this is not the correct way. This is the correct way, right? uh, One can argue this, and now this looks like the two shoulders are of similar height and the head is a tad high above the main. So now, just because the way I drew my stuff, now it looks like a peak head, sorry, shoulder, head and shoulder. Now head and shoulder में there are some significant volume patterns, okay? तो वॉल्यूम पैटर्न क्या होता है कि राइट शोल्डर में सबसे ज़्यादा वॉल्यूम होंगे, head will have lesser volume than the right shoulder, and this is your first uh, the first red signal. And the left shoulder, sorry, this is left shoulder, this is the right shoulder. So right shoulder highest volume, head will be lesser than the left shoulder, and the right shoulder will have almost no volume. So the volume pattern also matches what a typical head and shoulder looks like. So just be careful with when your flag develops into a bearish structure, okay? See, Nitko Bhaiya, like I said, I never like something which is sort of क्या बोलते हैं इसको, wedging or sloping up inside the base. It 8 out of 10 times it sort of will do something which you will not like, and Nitko is one such example. Piccadilly Agro is, I think, no longer a heighted flag, because the mast is now big. So you see that this possible HTF has now morphed into a cup and handle. So ये हो गया आपका cup. This is a small handle, and the breakout of this is tradable. Okay. Race tradable, still tradable, but wait for a confirmed push. थोड़ा अभी बिल्कुल strength नहीं दिख रहा है. So without strength, it's futile to गेट इन अर्ली, बिकॉज क्या पता दिस गाय चिक 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 करके यहाँ पे आके 50 DMA से रिटर्न हो, राइट? सो ऑलवेज try and get some confirmation. So this now looks like a, not like that, but we will now make it like this because we have more touch points here as compared to what we drew in the previous channel, right? So this could be whenever this guy breaks out HAL, that is a tradable breakout here, okay? The mast size also is now more than 10 days. So more than 10 days chalega, 15 दिन chalega. Better to have 20-25 days, but 15 is okay, still okay. MCX, I would be very interested to trade this, honestly, because I like the previous uptrend. Huge interest, huge institutional interest, and mast also not giving up much. मतलब not even 10% giving up. So थोड़ा लंबा होने से भी चलेगा मास्ट. दैट ब्रेकआउट शुड नॉट बी मिस्ड. ई क्लरिक्स, so I don't like this is the double top now, double top ही पैटर्न. सेम डबल टॉप में वॉल्यूम पैटर्न क्या मिलेगा आपको? ये फर्स्ट टॉप में जितना वॉल्यूम होएगा सेकंड टॉप में उससे कम वॉल्यूम होएगा, विच मीन्स दैट सेकंड टॉप का जो रैली था दैट वाज नॉट सपोर्टेड मच बाय मच वॉल्यूम्स. That means that bulls are not interested to take it higher, right? So these are early signs. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये breakdown होएगा ही होएगा, but these are the things which will help you anticipate a little bit more on things like that. GMDC, I am very interested in this. Not I'm like not ऐसा, but I this looks this looks like this breakout will materialize into a nice little run. So अभी तक ओनिल ब्रेकआउट क्लियरली हुआ नहीं है. दैट वुड बी above this. एनीथिंग अबाउट 451 वुड बी ए क्लीन ब्रेकआउट. तब तक हम लोग इसको T2 मानेंगे, सॉरी T1 T2. 63 moons is forming a tighter area, and it's a reversal pivot, right? Pritika Auto. PPL I am a little bit hopeful now that, but is if it breaks down this level, no, this is the after, if it breaks down this level, this is the time you say कि भाई इसको watch list से हटा देने का time आ गया है, you know, since it's above 50-day moving average or around 50-day moving average, you can still, this is still a very much, it's no longer a high rate flag, but it's still a setup which is tradable, is my point. Tata Invest, still a HTF, I believe, and still a very, very tradable HTF. Okay. Adani Green Energy. This is a A1 setup. Very nice. First T, आपका I think कितना ये, this is 10-15% from the top, 19%. And the second, okay, this is serious, guys. This is like, there is a feeling here, like there is a feeling that Adani Green Energy is going to break out very soon. You feel sometimes inside the bones कि मैं देखा है बहुत बार ऐसा बनने के बाद ये ब्रेकआउट होता है, मतलब why, because the whole structure is saying that इसमें accumulation ही हो रहा है, distribution तो है ही नहीं इधर कहीं पे भी. So the best way to trade this would be to just put a GTT above 1658, so that would be your level. And if you put let's say if you get filled up anywhere 1670, then you will have like a 8% kind of a stop loss, and which still will bode well for like a swing trader uh, kind of a thing. So this is a very high probability setup right now, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it will come, it'll, हाँ वो आएगा शायद, ठीक है. तो देखते हैं नीचे आएगा कि नहीं. सोलर इंडस्ट्रीज में भी बहुत बढ़िया आपको पिवट मिल गया यहाँ पे. तो ये ब्रेकआउट इज ट्रेडेबल. टाटा पावर T1 T2 hopefully, and this is also tradable. This pivot breakout would be tradable in my opinion. लगा देते हैं, ये सब बजेगा कल परसों नरसों. ATGL, so ATGL, this is what we thought कि ठीक है T1 आएगा, T2 आएगा, T3 आएगा. चलो नहीं आया ऐसा, कोई बात नहीं. दिस इज़ अ वैलिड ब्रेकआउट पिवट. दिस इज टाइटनेस. ठीक है, तो दिस इज अ स्टेज 1 बेस ब्रेकआउट इन इन 5 minutes कैंडल. ऐसा ही होता है. स्टेज 2, स्टेज 4, एंड देन वी आर मेकिंग स्टेज 1 बेस. स्टेज 1 बेस में क्या हो रहा है, एसेंडिंग ट्राइंगल फॉर्म हो रहा है इसमें. एसेंडिंग ट्राइंगल में क्या होता है, एसेंडिंग ट्राइंगल इज़ अ कंस्ट्रक्टिव बेस, जहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, जहाँ पे accumulation is happening more than distribution, and hence the buyers are shifting the buy price, the buy zone. 923 पे बाई किया, फिर 966 पे पकड़ लिया, सपोर्ट किया. 985 पे सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. 1000 पे करेंगे कल परसों नरसों, फिर द ब्रेकआउट इज गोना कम, राइट. So Adani Total Gas is also technically looking good, and now you see what's the volume pattern look like. वॉल्यूम पैटर्न कैसा दिख रहा है आपका. पीक, हाईएस्ट वॉल्यूम, लेस वॉल्यूम, 50%. राइट नाउ it's almost at 10-20% of the main original selling volume at the top. So that means that गया यहाँ पे, the supply is getting less and less and less. सूख रहा है सप्लाई पूरा. ये दिन ने इसका पूरा थोबड़ा बिगाड़ दिया रतन इंडिया का. बट इट्स स्टिल ओके, मतलब यहाँ पे अभी कुछ ज़्यादा कुछ बिगड़ा नहीं है. दिस इज़ अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट जोन, because it's a multi-year breakout, I think. And when this guy crosses, that would be another buy point. Jay Balaji, in my humble opinion, this breakout will present another buying opportunity. IFCI, this ये these are the things which sometimes tests our patience so much. And like it's all like there is, it's very ugly looking base. मतलब ठीक है, base breakout, then there's another base, but this is a very ugly looking base. But let's just say that a 2020, let's just put the blame on the 20-day candle and say that, you know but not a great setup for now. Country Club Hospital looking good. This Mahaday is looking really good. And yeah, any day it sort of closes above this guy now. That would be a cheat entry, but very small. This one तो ठीक है. तो प्लीज़ आप लोग देख लो आपकी लिक्विडिटी विक्विडिटी. या सेंको 50-day मूविंग एवरेज से होपफुली चला जाए. अगर नहीं जाएगा तो इट विल बेसिकली देन पॉसिबली फॉर्म अ डबल बॉटम वन बॉटम टू, राइट. बट स्टिल ओके, लुक्स ओके. देर इज़ नो लाइक रेड फ्लैग एकदम, मतलब अच्छा, ये देर इज़ नथिंग कॉलिंग दैट ओके ये बेस ब्रेक डाउन हो जाएगा. KPI green, this could have been an entry. This is a tight area breakout हुआ, then again retest हुआ, ऐसे ही जाता है. I have a trigger on the breakout of this, and whenever this breakouts, that time is it will again be buyable, possibly higher level. One can also think that how this base, sort of how this price will move would be like some on the lines of like this. These are just random lines, but at times they make sense. Energy, Adani Energy Solution also is presenting a very nice tight area. अभी इसको शिफ्ट करके यहाँ पे डाल देंगे बिकॉज पिवट शिफ्ट हो गया अभी. दिस इज आवर पिवट. And this base breakout will also give you a very nice risk reward scenario. Let's say you get a fill somewhere around there. 8%, 8% is okay given the fact that Adani can move like 50-60%. Radico Shaitan is sort of forming a very nice base again. um, okay, so this also looks good. uh, but yeah, I would, if I were you, I would trade the, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, confirmation. IRFC, actually, I am very much looking forward for IRFC. IRFC is right now the biggest position I hold. एंड मेरे को यहाँ पे थोड़ा 2T दिखता है मेरे को. ये एक्चुअली 3T दिखता है मेरे को. दिस इज़ वेरी जैक्ड, बट दिस इज व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. T1, T2, and this is not perfect VCP, okay, but there is VCP, there is supply getting absorbed, and hopefully demand coming, pushing tomorrow or day after, and like breaking out. So I I really I really like this for now. The volume pattern could have been better, but we can see that supply khatam ho raha hai, the selling is like getting lesser and lesser. New gen, what a peak breakout this was, guys. What a peak breakout. And this is a very nice breakout. We also had the Mars crossover. um, uh, I also alerted the group as and when it was breaking out. So yeah, this is how a high tide flag breakout works, and when it works, it looks simply amazing. I mean, could have been better, but यही होता है like 5% stocks में. Adani Power is also now nice now, so we will be shifting our pivots here now. ये pivot आ गया. This is a pivot high because आजू बाजू के दोनों candle were lower than this high, so this is a pivot now, technical pivot. So I don't know when the breakout comes, possibly like this or possibly tomorrow, but whenever that comes, that is a technically tradable pivot जहाँ पे risk is lesser than reward is far higher than the risk, right? Sean Energy, this was the O'Neill pivot breakout. उसके बाद फिर ये अभी टाइम पास कर रहा है. Talbro, we still have this pivot. Still a very good base. Still, this is the pivot now. That breakout is going to be tradable. Inox Wind, bus. So there are only, so see, you see what happens was when this was happening, no, Inox Wind was a high tide flag. So at some point of time high tide flag बनना बंद कर दिया है, because मास्ट 5 महीने 5 वीक से ज़्यादा हो गया. उसके बाद भी ये ब्रेकआउट आया ना, ये ब्रेकआउट आया तो हाई टाइड फ्लैग ब्रेकआउट नहीं यही है, बट ये बिग बेस ब्रेकआउट हो गया. तो ये बिग बेस ब्रेकआउट का देखो क्या हुआ. तो दैट इज़ वाई आई मीन हाई टाइड फ्लैग एज अ रिलीजन, as a technical analyst, as a technical trader, is a religion which will lead you to find God at some point. That's my belief. KPI Tech, not so good right now. Um, selling थोड़ा high, selling कम हुआ. Until here it was all fine, but what I'm not liking is ये जो 1 2 3 4 5 6, this, I mean, थोड़ा सा कम होने से मुझे अच्छा लगता, बट स्टिल इज़ अ बेस बिल्डिंग, could still break out, but there are some better names. Yeah, this was a good breakout. Someone in the group only discussed this and we added it in the group. Good breakout. At this on this day one could have de-risked it, because I'm sure that you would have gotten like at least 1 hour. And yeah, so rec is another decent, not decent, but a very good high tide flag right now in the market. And I don't know how bigger move still rec has. It's already been a multi bagger, I suppose, but technically this is still tradable. Okay, 21 EMA. Electcast, yeah, this breakout would be still tradable. And if you don't like my representation here, then you also have a one horizontal line. The thing is, I'm not against one horizontal line, but sometimes you can use slanting lines to better describe the price patterns instead of using one horizontal line. And when that chance is there, when that opportunity is there, then use a slanting line. No, the you see the price pattern is really nice here. लंबे लंबे थोड़े लंबे लंबे टावर्स, छोटे छोटे टावर्स, 2 दिन selling, then again small towers. So this is how it should be. Uh, a base, a constructive base which has more accumulation than distribution will have this price pattern. ठीक है. Okay. What else? Suzlon is still viable above this. Consolidate Finvest is now sort of again basing. Energy Development Company Limited has a pivot here. See, anything with energy, power, these are safe bets right now, honestly. Like IFGL, so really nice. Like this is very nice. Like although it might not be a high tide flag anymore, or is it? ठीक है, you can still call it a high tide flag. Still a very nice wo, so one can definitely trade the breakout out of this pivot. Okay, how long do we have? 9:21, almost. So what I don't like this, now I will stop using uh, a one horizontal line and start using the line that makes sense. Stupid might sort of do zig 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 for a couple of more days. Yeah, so this is what I anticipate, something like that. Emil, Emily Blunt looks a little bit थोड़ा सा has the characters of the wedging up or sort of क्या बोलते हैं इसको, sloping up, which I do not like. By now you guys already know this. Somehow they just don't break out when you want, but still looks okay, you know. Volume patterns is nice. लाल वाले towers कम रहे हैं, छोटे 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 हो रहे हैं, and now green towers have started to appear. So yeah, it looks decent, not an A1. PTC India financials also look good, so this would be my entry breakout pivot. Power finance, भाई इसको तो अभी अभी, ओ ये रेक था. Oh shit, power finance and reg, they look so similar. And if I have to choose, I'll choose PFC. um Maybe not. Oh, they're very similar, man, very similar, very sweet, very similar. Both are just looking like a wow. Yeah man, yeah. Like, एंड एक बात दिखाऊं आप लोगों को, वीकली और इस पे मंथली और वीकली पे देवर एपिक वीसीपीस. If you see PFC, I was tracking this. This is an epic weekly VCP. Like, this was during June July. तो ये T1, T2, T3, T4 जो भी बोल सकते हो. And this was the Homma खेला हुए on daily. This was when the actual big base breakout happened. One could also say भाई ये, तो people will say अरे ये तो sloping up है, slanting है, ये क्या बोलते हैं इसको, wedging pattern है, negative है. ये देखो क्या हुआ उसके बाद. तो another, the rec also had similar pattern. I think monthly में भी ये देखो क्या था ये this is VCP on monthly. T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 क्या हुआ उसके बाद. ब्रदर, मार्केट्स आर फ्रैक्टल. सब में चलता है भाई, यही चलता है. ये 5 मिनट में भी यही पैटर्न चलेगा. बस आपको कैसे इसको पकड़ना है वो आप देख लो. तो नॉट इवन किडिंग ब्रदर्स. Yeah, so this is actually for daily. Okay, so most of my things are dedicated for daily. तो monthly में इतना भाव नहीं देने के से भी चलेगा. Mostly they work on. Anyways, I went on to a different tangent because honestly, I can't believe that they yeah, this is also basically validation of a lot of things which I have read in books but have not had the experience to see them in real life market, no. So this validation will help me going forward, and so I make it a point to drive the point home. Some of the things that works, man. Anyways, we are, I think, very close to the full list. Traction is a very good setup. क्यों? Because right now this 21-day EMA का जो support है ना, ये आलतू फालतू सपोर्ट नहीं है. ये बहुत ही तगड़ा सपोर्ट है. ये वाला सपोर्ट है, देखिए. ये IPO बेस ब्रेकआउट होने के बाद इट इज़ नाउ कमिंग एंड रीटेस्टिंग. यू सी द रीटेस्ट वॉल्यूम्स नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट. ओके, so that means you know now that this bounce will probably have the capacity to take traction till, chalo, let's do some, yeah, let's see in 1 year. So again, this is futile sometimes because having a target would lead you to sell here once it reaches, but who's to say that traction will not do 260, no. So पहले मैं बहुत करता था ये सब टाइम पास. Right now I find it a little futile because more and more you follow trend, then you know that trend following is so much superior than just to draw lines and get some uh, get some targets. See, BDL BDL is a very dangerous stock right now because itna chad gaya hai, and I really wish for a decent long base. And after that breakout, if anyone in the group misses, then I don't know what to say. Same goes to uh, Bappi Lahiri also, a very nice true pole, and then it's now started to base. Okay, थोड़ा सा 3-4 दिन और लंबा बेस हो जाएगा, and that breakout is going to be highly tradable. Gallantry Ispat Limited also now forming the base, and that breakout also is going to be highly tradable. The last one in the list is Bag Films. Bag Films broke out today, so 100% around. Yeah, then 2T. 2T is also within 25%. So this was a very nice breakout today. Um, so that's the list. Okay, hopefully it made sense to a lot of people here. And 5 minutes we will take some questions if you have. If not, we will say goodbye. See, in my opinion, Angel One is actually a base which is sloping up. समझ रहे हो? That means that though actual breakout आएगा वो भोकाल, that will be really high, really, like there is actually more thing as मतलब जो actual breakout आएगा ना वो I think शुरू ही हुआ है in my opinion. So imagine this was a base, actual base ऐसा होता है, but ये actual base ऐसा हुआ है. That means even in the basing phase the price is being pushed up and up. Why? Because it is so much strong, like सबको चाहिए एंजल वन. तो या हाँ, मेरे को तो लगता है ये अभी. एंड एक चीज़ याद रखिए, बिफोर ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दिस, लाइक डू नॉट बी इन अ हरी टू सेल स्टॉक्स विच आर परफॉर्मिंग. And I think might for some of us take some time to learn, but once we learn that, no bhai, that would, like, then you only have to get the correct entry once. Okay. Yeah, so in my personal trading also, yeah, like some of the things which I could hold for a longer term were the ones which did well. Any more questions? Please do not be shy and please ask. Uh, the more stupid the question, more better. Yes, so yes, Ariana, your question is कि कैसे ट्रेल करेंगे ऐसा? Hi Vinita, sorry to get that wrong. हाँ, तो see, there are a couple of ways to trail, right? So one would be a discretionary method कि you, for example, let's pick an example here. Um, do you have an example in mind? ठीक है, let's say JP Power, ठीक है? So this is something which I hold, okay? Yeah, so for example, JP Jay Prakash, Vidhayak Jay Prakash ji is a breakout today, right? So uh, let's say, so I got an entry here on this day, December 5th, and so I am already, I think, some 10-20% up. Okay, so now what I can do is, if I really don't want to give back that 10, 20, 50% whatever, then I can trail. There are a lot of ways. So one would be to say this is a breakout. तो breakout के low पे रख दूंगा उसके थोड़ा नीचे, because if it comes back and hits that, meaning that there is this breakout does not have that much of strength, meaning that it could spend some days going sideways before actually breaking out, meaning that I don't want to have my capital in such a stock which will take 3 to 4 days, right? So this would be my earliest trailing point. Another way to trail would be, and this is what I advise everyone. Let's say your initial risk in the position. So for example, let's say when I bought JP Power, for example, let's say I had a risk of 8%, right? So now if I am 16% up, which is right now I am, 18.8%, then I have already gotten twice my risk. ठीक है? So one way to manage your trade is, let's say for example you had 100 stocks of this, just for an example. Now 100 stocks, and per stock your stop is 1.15, right? So that means your total risk on the trade was 115 rupees, right? Now at 2x, let's say, you can sell 50% of the stock. So 50% once you sell, now what has happened is your profit actually is 115 into 2 divided by 50, right? So you've actually made 115 rupees right now, and how much you are left with? You are left with 50% of quantity, so your risk now is actually 75. So even if the position now comes back and hits your stop loss, you 15 you have already made, you 115 divided by 2 कितना होता है? So you will lose 57 rupees. So that means eventually you are still making 57 rupees in this trade, right? So that is the logic. Now again, like I always do this, the mechanical way to trade this would be just to use a, moving average with which this guy has been sort of respecting. तो अगर आप देखोगे यहाँ पे sort of 50 DMA के इर्द गिर्द ये घूम के वापस गया है, right? Or if you think going forward it sort of comes back and takes the 12 EMA or 21 EMA, that possibly is going to act as a support, तो कुछ point below that kind of a EMA. But if you want something even more mechanical than this, what I would suggest is to just use a super trend 10-2 or 10-3. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे in my chart those two levels are this green lines. So this green line is super trend 10-3, and this another green line above that is super trend 10-2. So if you just put a stop loss below this, or even like a closing basis stop loss, there are very less chances that your stop loss will be hit, even when the stock is in an uptrend. तो आप अगर देखिए, for example अगर आपने ये stock somewhere इधर खरीदा होता, so if you use the 10-3 closing basing stop loss, you would have never been out of the trade. So in my suggestion is that go and play around with the 10 the super trend for your stop loss. This is one of the most easiest way. And if you guys have learned about the turtle traders, the original trend followers, they also used super trend for their mechanical trend stop loss setting strategy. So I believe these are a couple of ways one could do this. Sure. MSTC looked good if I remember correctly. Yes, this is still forming a flag. Possible. So few more days of consolidation, it will wait for the 10 and 21 to catch up, and then you will have a strong support there, and then again the bounce. So this is how they generally stronger stocks move. They surf the 10-21 EMA. You are welcome, Vanita. Thanks for your question. Any more questions, guys?